Hey guys, it's Jenny Silver. We're doing California EDD live Q&A, but today I do want to talk to you first about mortgage relief in the state of California. We've been waiting for months for updates on the California Mortgage Relief Program, also known as the California Homeowners Assistance Fund. Waiting for months. Finally, the application is live. If you are a homeowner and you need mortgage relief, now is the time to fill out that application. It has gone live. However, they have not notified their email list about it. They have, for the most part, not had this shared very prominently in the news yet. So if you're a homeowner, please apply right now, because right now, not many people know that this application is live. But because I am extremely obsessive and have been checking this website obsessively, I found it, and I found that it's live. So I made a video on it yesterday. I'm going to share my screen real quick so that you can see. Oh gosh, and you can also see that I have 478 emails in that one inbox up there, which is like one of 6 of my email addresses. Where is the link? There it is. Okay, so if you're a homeowner, you may be eligible to receive up to $80,000 in back owed mortgage payments. This is money that is a grant. It is not a loan. It does not have to be paid back. It goes directly from the government to your mortgage servicer. So the service provider that you get your mortgage from is the one that's going to receive the funds. Now, there are some strict eligibility requirements here, including that you have to, whoa, I've messed it up, including that you have to meet certain income eligibility requirements, and there's a calculator linked here. So, Annie, can you drop the link for the mortgage relief in the chat box right now? You can go there, and then you can also click on the AMI calculator to see if you qualify. And next, I want to address the first comment that I see here, which is from Paul, which is related. Paul says, so you know, I applied for the mortgage relief and I was sent an email today saying that my service provider was not participating in the program. It seems several mortgage companies are not cooperating. Unfortunately, this is something that does, let me fix something here, that does seem to be true. Now, when they first put out the PDF of the plan for mortgage relief, it could be in there. I have to revisit that document and see exactly what it states and see exactly what the bill text states, because it must be in there somewhere. But yes, I have received about 3 reports, including you, Paul, stating that the mortgage service provider has to be on board with this. So that's an unfortunate turn that many are experiencing. Okay, Lil Rambo, hi. Annie's in here moderating. Hi, Debbie. I hope you're well. That's me being late. Hi, Bonnie. Okay, Debbie says she's slowly filling the chat room. Rain here, snow there. There's no snow here. I live just outside of Sacramento. There's no snow. It's tons of rain, puddles everywhere, which are great for puddle stomping with my little kids. But if we drive for about an hour and we go up the hill into like the Apple Hill area, then there's a lot of snow right now. So we did get out to the snow last week, and there's tons of snow 2 hours away in Tahoe. All right, Ira, I've been waiting on my phone interview. It said I was okay until December of 2022. Okay, so if it said you were okay until December 2022, I'm not sure what it is referring to. Maybe that's the end of your benefit year. I'm not sure. Many people are still awaiting phone interviews, and unfortunately, they do take a significant amount of time. Right now, the wait time is about 3 to 4 months on average for a phone interview, and it varies. And sometimes they do not schedule them in advance, and they simply will call you, and then you'll be surprised with a phone call. So unfortunately, calling into your assembly member cannot speed up the interview process. Calling into EDD does not. But if you are stuck in pending because of that eligibility interview and you have received payments previously, meaning that you're not a brand new claim, what you can do is you can call into your assembly member and you can ask for them to help you to receive conditional payments while you await your phone interview. So Annie is going to drop the link for how to contact your assembly member in the chat box right now. contact them, click that link, locate your assembly member. They're going to be able to contact the EDD on your behalf and push that through much faster. So you're going to be asking for conditional payments on that. And then the phone interview will come much later. So don't miss the phone interview. You still have to be there for it and answer it. All right. Did that one. Michael, just want to stop by and say hi. Hi, Michael. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. I hope your job at, which dealership is it? You work for one of the big car dealerships. I can't remember what it is. Okay, Paul Cruz, is this true? So yes, so I've received a few reports from several different people, and one of my viewers, thank you very much, I won't say their name because they wanted to remain anonymous and not have me share the document. One of my viewers did send me over the documentation of the correspondence with the mortgage relief, call them organization. And I was surprised that they actually processed their application that fast because this just opened up. But unfortunately, yes, this does seem to be true that service providers for your mortgage have to agree to participate. Now, I need to dig deeper on that, and I need to look into the bill text, look into the exact plan that was submitted and approved by the Treasury, and find where it states that and the exact language around that. I also have an email into several of my government contacts that I have now trying to get me connected with someone in the mortgage relief program because I have several contacts that are like a step away from that. So I think it'll be easy for me to get a contact there and speak to one of their media representatives and get some questions answered about that. Okay, William. Hey, Jenny. Pershing filed my appeal with more documents. My disqualification has already been overturned. Good. And I'm really glad to hear that. So it was fixed. They overturned it already. That seems like a fast resolution too. And you used Pershing. William, let me know your feelings on how Pershing did and how they were to work with. I've received really good feedback from my subscribers that have used them. All right, Marina at 707. I hope they reinstate PUA. California is going up in cases. There's currently no plan to reinstate PUA, so just to manage expectations and be realistic about that, currently there is not a plan to reinstate PUA at this time. All right, Rosalina at 708. Housing is key. Has a new status. It's called flagged program evaluation. What does that mean? Every time I call or other people call, they never give an answer. They say they don't know what it means. They don't know what their own statuses mean. That's a big problem. Rental assistance has a lot of problems. It's a very flawed program. They're trying to get that money out to people, but there are major delays within the state as well as federally. I've had a lot of you ask again for me to revisit the rental assistance program and see if I can get any additional information. I don't think I'm going to be able to get a lot of additional info because they're not putting out constant press releases. They're not a big long-term organization such as the EDD where there's lots of people to contact, lots of info going out to the news, etc. But I will reach out again to my contact. I have two contacts in that department. And then Shelly has one too, who's different from both of mine. So perhaps I'll get her to reach out as well. And we'll see what we can find out about rental assistance because I know that that program is causing a lot of problems for many. Okay. Loving the California rain. It's a lot of rain. So we had a temporary duck living. This is like a big tangent. We had a temporary duck living in our house. My husband, we had to put my big fluffy black and white cat. If you know, I know Debbie knows my cat. If you remember my cat, he's in my blooper sometimes. We had to have him put to sleep. I was really sad about it. My husband had our cat carrier in his car. And he found an injured duck, like a very badly injured duck. And he put it in the cat carrier, brought it home. We kept it in our garage for like a week and it healed and its foot got all better. And then it lived in our backyard for about a week. And because it was raining so much, where our sandbox is for our kids was a complete puddle. It was like a lake. And so the duck would just swim in our backyard lake. And it has since been released into the wild, but it's what we've been doing with the rain. All right, I need a drink of tea, and then I will get this next one. All right, Michelle, any stats on PUA, work history, request approvals, or denials? I don't have statistics. What I have are just generalized feedback from my channel subscribers, as well as discussing it thoroughly with Pershing Square Law Firm. You guys have been seeing, I've been doing some collaboration with them as well. And they have access to very detailed information in the appeals process and getting those decisions overturned. Whereas I have feedback from kind of a larger variety of people, of claimants who are undergoing the process. On my channel, I have heard a significant number of people being approved with their documentation, as well as a significant number of people being disqualified on their documentation. I also have some people that are being called by the EDD, like cold called with no warning, so that the EDD representative can try to obtain more information and documents from them so that they don't have to disqualify them. I also have some claimants who have let me know that the EDD has sent them a message in UI Online telling them that they submitted documents, they received their documents, but they are giving them another link to upload more documents in case they want to submit more. For myself personally, I received PUA for a brief period of time when my business went completely under in 2020. And so I also had to submit that documentation. I submitted it on the first day that that notice came out, and I made a video on it. I still have not heard back. I was one of the claimants that did not receive any notification. They did not send me a letter. They didn't text message me. They didn't even send me a UI Online inbox message telling me what I needed to provide. It simply was just the upload documents link. So I uploaded the documents. They still have not gotten back to me about anything. So there's kind of a wide variety of what people are hearing back. Some are being disqualified because they actually did not qualify. Some are being disqualified because they did not submit enough documentation. And some are being disqualified by error because they did submit proper documentation. And perhaps the EDD representative who was evaluating those documents either didn't know what they were looking at, because some of the self-employment documents can be confusing, or perhaps they were more careless with the documents. If you are being denied and you know that you have submitted proper documentation, it's something solid like a tax return, a business license, etc., and it's for the correct year that the EDD asked for, then call into EDD first. You're going to need to appeal in a timely manner, but call in right away, because many claimants are letting me know that when they call in and they ask to speak to a Tier 2 representative, that rep is then able to fix it over the phone immediately for them. So just make sure that you do that. Okay. I missed it. Hold on. Where did it go? All right. Oh, I can't say this name. Rural Languin. That was a bad pronunciation. 710. The point must not own and occupy a second residence. How about I own but do not occupy a second home? I rent a second home. I'm ineligible for mortgage assistance for my primary residence. Yes, I'm going to pull up the documentation on this to double check. I do believe that it states that you must, yes, here it is right here. Homeowner may only own and occupy one property. Now it states own and occupy one property. What about this one? You must currently own and occupy the property in California as your primary residence. Okay, so I see what you're saying. It's kind of a gray area here because they state you must own and occupy one property. What if you own but don't occupy the other property? That is a gray area for me here. I do not believe that you can't occupy two properties full time. So I don't think that you would qualify if you own a second property. Additionally, what they state here is that you must have a limit on your assets on hand. So down here in this last one, you cannot have assets higher than your amount that you need for mortgage assistance plus $20,000 on top of that. If you own a second home, most likely that second home's value is going to be bigger than the amount that you're asking for homeowners assistance plus that extra $20,000. So no, I do not believe that you would qualify with owning that second property based on those two criteria. All right, James, first time on your show, you spoke about James, where did it go? James, I don't see it. You're going to have to type it again, my friend. Luckily, we only have 50 people in here. So type your question again, and I'll get to it in a minute. All right, Michelle, I submitted an affidavit on 11/12/21. Anyone getting responses from EDD yet on approval or disqualification? Yes, many people are getting both approval and disqualifications. Many people, however, like myself, are still waiting for a reply from the EDD. Now, my documents are solid that I sent in. I have a bookkeeper. I do my taxes. I have tons of business documentation. It's all in line. They haven't gotten back to me. So they have not gotten back to me as well. Many of my subscribers have not heard back, but many have. So it's about split. And it's all going to depend on what additional documents you submitted with that, whether or not there's any question about if you qualify, etc. So feel free to reply in the chat to one another and discuss your experience. All right, Debbie Hall at 712. Big Bear and Lake Arrowhead about an hour away. There is snow, but only on the mountaintops here. Yeah, Apple Hill is covered in snow right now. That's where we go to play when it snows, but it only snows there like 1 month a year. You're very welcome. Okay, Lorna, 714. Thank you for all your help. Have a great new year. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Happy New Year to you too. All right, William at 715. Pershing is very straightforward, professional, and a pleasure to work with. The process is also very fast and easy. They were a pleasure to work with. Thanks for the recommendation. Also, please show the duck. I'm really glad to hear that feedback. He's talking about Pershing Square Law Firm. If you see my recent videos with them, I've been talking with Asaf. He's been very helpful, very informative. If you need help, check them out. Show the duck. But we have released the duck. The duck has flown away. No longer does he swim in my backyard puddles. Okay, let's see. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Monique. Happy holidays. You miss me. Thank you. I'm always here. I took a long time off, you guys. I took like 5 days off, I think, for the holidays. Because my son's birthday, he turned 7 on the 23rd. So it's like right before Christmas. So it gets really busy for us. So I took a few days off, which I don't usually do. But other than that, I'm always here. I try to post videos every other day, if not every day. And then live streams are kind of here or there on Wednesdays. Okay, Debbie Hall, noticing all these programs in state offices like DMV, EDD, et cetera, are flawed. There are a lot of problems there. Okay, at 716, if we only received the minimum of 167 and put gross instead of net, also uploaded the proper documents, should we expect an overpayment? Okay, so if you put your gross instead of your net, you were supposed to put your net income on the application. That's what the original application asked for. And you can see it in my original application video like 2 years ago that I created. But if you still qualify to receive PUA, you were awarded the minimum anyway, they can't decrease you below that minimum. So you should not receive an overpayment unless you are found ineligible altogether, which it sounds like you are eligible. So no, they should not be decreasing that amount because 167 is the PUA minimum already. Now, you may, well, if it were me, I would correct that statement, however, to the EDD so that they do not have any form of a case against you making a false statement to them or submitting incorrect information. You know that you made an error in that mistake. Redundant. You know that you made that mistake. So I would send it to them in writing. I accidentally input gross when I meant to input net income. Here's the difference. Here's the documentation. Have it in writing, screenshot it, and save it so that way there's no possibility of a problem coming about for a false statement. I like your icon. We're Totoro fans. All right, will you be able to see if your documents were not approved before getting the notice in the mail by checking your UI account and seeing if your payment says disqualified? Yes, I have put out several videos showing that, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to be the order of events for everyone. Some people will notice if they go to UI online, they click on the history tab, and then they go to their first payment in January of 2021, because that's when it first took effect after December 27th. They will see those paid statuses be moved to disqualified. That doesn't necessarily mean that everyone is going to see that happen first before the letter comes, but that is a way that you can check if you are feeling nervous about something. Okay, Monique, have a great new year in your family. Thank you, Monique. I really appreciate that. You too. All right, Debbie. Thank you. I know he was so big, you guys. My cat. If I had his big furry picture right now, I'd put it up on the screen. He was really big. Okay, great info. Always appreciate you. Thank you, DB. I really appreciate that. Okay, Bonnie. Thank you, Bonnie. Oh, that's an excellent name. I'm sorry to hear that. All right, Jennifer. If they disqualify me, I have to pay back? Yes. So if you are disqualified from receiving your benefits and you call in to customer service and they will not accept your documents, you next would need to file an appeal. You have 30 days to file the appeal from the date on the notice. Watch the video that I recently put out, I think like 3 days ago on Monday. What day is today? Wednesday? Yeah, I think I put it out on Monday with Asaf Liktash from Pershing Square Law. Watch that video. We talk about the appeals process. You have to file the appeal, and then if you are found after the appeals process to not be eligible for benefits at all, then you aren't eligible to receive those benefits that you are already paid out, and you do then have to pay them back. You will be issued an overpayment notice. You'll be issued possible penalties depending on if you made a false statement in your application or at any point in time throughout the process. And then you will be required to pay those benefits back. Now, there is a possibility for an overpayment waiver, but that is a very strict possibility. And in speaking with Pershing Square Law Firm, he made it very clear that that's kind of like a last resort, that they are really reserved with doling those out because, number one, you have to demonstrate that you were given the overpayment through no fault of your own. And essentially, the definition of fault, as it was explained to me, isn't just that you were trying to lie or trying to make a fraudulent statement. It's that you provided information that then led to you being paid benefits that wasn't correct, whether you intended to or not. So the other reason to getting a waiver that must go hand in hand with this is that you must also demonstrate severe financial hardship would be caused by paying those benefits back. So it is possible to get an overpayment waiver, but those two things must be demonstrated. Okay. Okay. Monique's talking to Michael. Michael is back to work full time. So I have Annie moderating. Annie works for me on my photography side of my business, and she is wonderful as well. And yes, Michael, I hope you're doing well. Okay, William, when calling, please make sure you talk to a tier 2 because some tier 1s are absolutely clueless. One of them took 20 minutes to figure out that I'm PUA and not UI. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, unfortunately, there's a wide variety in skill levels, training levels, patience levels, etc. in the customer service department. Tier 2 representatives have to undergo about 9 months worth of training in order to become a tier 2 representative. So there is a big difference. If you choose to ask for a tier 2 rep, you're going to then have to wait on hold for several hours. And in some cases, the EDD phone line will offer to give you a call back, but it is a long hold line, but there is a big difference between skill levels. So yes, tier 2 is going to help you with additional things that tier ones are not capable of doing. Additionally, there is still a big discrepancy between the skill levels of the tier 2 representatives as well. So if you are someone specifically with all the problems that we're seeing right now with work history verification, if you submitted those documents, you know that they are strong documents that should substantiate your claims and that they were for the correct years. If you call in and the first tier 2 representative is not able to help you, I strongly recommend trying again, calling in a second time, getting a different tier 2 rep and seeing, because it's worth it to avoid the appeals process. Yes, if you qualify going through the appeals process, you are going to have that rectified. You are going to have it heard by a judge who is going to know exactly what they're looking at, see that you do qualify, but it is a long process. So I would try to call into tier 2 first if you can, and even try a second time. All right, I'm at 7:30. Filing the rent assistance application. If I receive monthly VA disability, which is not taxable, not on my IRS tax return, do I need to disclose it? Yes, I would disclose all streams of income that you have on that. I would not hide anything. Okay, Rosa's at 7:21. Our forbearance ends 1/31/2022, and I don't know where to apply for the California mortgage assistance. I have contacted an HUD representative. Okay, so mortgage assistance, Annie is going to drop that link in the chat box for you right now. It just opened. So the mortgage application, mortgage relief application just opened. It is not being spread around in the news much yet. And they haven't even notified their mailing list about it yet. But the application is open. I made a profile. I clicked through it to make sure that I actually could go into it, and it is open. So Annie will drop that link in the chat box, and you can apply. Okay, let's see. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see. Do they only give you 10 days to appeal? Or can you submit more documents before having to appeal? So call customer service and ask them if you are able to submit additional documents. They will be able to let you know if they can send that link to your dashboard, or if they can have a representative call you and collect those documents over the phone with an online link. It's inconsistent at this point in time what people are reporting, because everyone's situation is different. Everyone is being denied or having snags along the way for different reasons. So it's kind of not a one answer for everyone. Call into customer service, ask to speak to a tier 2 representative, ask them if you can submit additional documents, and then you may still need to file an appeal. Okay, Jennifer, I'm still pending, but I'm working now. Should I wait for a phone interview? So if you're pending and you're awaiting payments for past due payments when you weren't working, it's up to you in your own financial situation. If you need those payments, then call your assembly member and get them to start working on it with you. If you are doing okay and you don't need those payments, yes, you don't have to go through the hassle and you can just wait. But it's up to your own situation and what you need. All right, Terry. Roses, you're very welcome. Okay. Terry at 7:23. Does anyone know what program evaluation means? Housing is key isn't helping me. My application has been sitting for a while now. I think that was the status that someone else asked about, which is a new status, and they aren't sure about that. No, I don't know exactly what that status means. They seem to have a lot of statuses where they are just evaluating your application for various purposes. So no, I can't say what that one is, unfortunately. I am going to try to follow up with my contacts over in that department and see if I can get another Q&A with them. But unfortunately, there's not a lot of new information about that program. It's slow. It's very delayed, and I know people are having a really hard time with it. Okay, Tara at 7:23. I'm so confused. I think I need to reapply. So Tara, you're only going to reapply for benefits if you qualify for a brand new regular unemployment claim. Programs that have ended that are no longer available at all are PUA, pandemic unemployment assistance, PEUC extension, FedEd extension. Those have all come to an end. So if you were collecting PUA, that has ended. There's no more possibility for you to collect benefits. If you were collecting regular unemployment insurance, you were an employee prior to the pandemic, then once your balance reaches zero, you cannot reapply until you reach the end of your benefit year. Once you reach the end of your benefit year, 1 year after your claim start date, you can reapply and file for a new claim only if you have worked within that last year since being unemployed and claiming that original claim, and you have earned $1,300 or more in your highest earning quarter. So those are the situations where you either are all done with benefits or would need to reapply. All right, DB Cooper, 725. Loved all the great work you do and the info you provide us. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Okay, Edward, 725. Never had button certified for benefit week ending 1/9/2021 and 1/2/2021. I have gaps in payment history for these 2 weeks. Okay, 2021. That date, I'm wondering why you would have a gap back then. You would have had a gap if you had some sort of a lapse before the next extension was applied. So perhaps you were moving on from regular unemployment over to FedEd, or maybe you're moving from UI to PEUC. If there was a gap in that time period, you should be able to call into customer service and they should be able to populate those weeks for you and pay them out retroactively. So that you shouldn't necessarily have a gap there. I would call in and see exactly what is going on. Now, that was the time frame where we were waiting for PEUC extension to be implemented from the December, 27th stimulus bill. When that second stimulus bill was passed, there was a lag period of time in which the EDD was waiting on Department of Labor guidance before they could implement the new PEUC extension in their computer program. So it sounds like that may be due to that, just based on those time frames of those dates. So in that case, call into EDD and they should be able to populate those weeks for you. Okay, let's see. I think there's a part 2. I think it happened because my account was suspended till the verification via ID me. How did I get okay, so it was probably due to a different reason. Okay, so if you have those weeks missing, regardless of the reason, you need to call in to customer service. You're gonna call a regular EDD phone number. You can do it that way, and it will take a while to get through. You can, if you're someone that wants to pay third-party service to get through faster, then you can use Claimer, and Annie can drop my link to save $5 in the chat box. If you can't get through at all, then you can also contact your assembly member and Annie can drop that link. Daniel, Happy New Year. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you very much. Same to you. All right, Monique, I'm truly sorry about your cat. Yeah. Yeah, he was an excellent cat. All right. Lori, sent off my W-2 forms for the 2019, waiting to see if they will accept the documents. Okay, good. If you had W-2, you were an employee, a W-2 is pretty cut and dry, unless you were trying to show that you had plans to start a job that was canceled due to the pandemic, then you should be good. If you had plans to start a job that was canceled due to the pandemic, then a W-2 won't show that. You'll need to actually provide the proof of that job offer, etc. But it sounds like you are all set. All right, Organic Olive Oil, who has Totoro, and it makes me smile every time I see it. I had 2 job offers, but I only listed one in the application and forgot to list the other. Can that be corrected? I have a job offer letter from the job I forgot to list, but not for the other in the app. Okay, so it looks like you qualified for unemployment benefits based on, hold on, you listed one in the application, job offer letter. Yeah. If you sent in one job offer letter, then you should be fine because that job was offered to you. But what you're missing is not that you need another job offer letter. It's that you need to prove that that job was canceled due to the pandemic. So yes, I would call into EDD and I would try to submit another document, but I would not worry about submitting the second job offer letter. I would make sure that you submit proof that that job that was offered to you was canceled due to the pandemic. Because if the EDD sees that you were offered a job, but they don't have any proof of why you didn't take that job, and they don't have any explanation with regards to that, then you will most likely be disqualified and then have to appeal. So you want to provide proof that that job was not available due to the pandemic. So you can contact that employer that offered you the job or their HR department, and you can ask them to write up a statement. If you don't have anything such as emails, text messages, a formal letter explaining that, then reach out to that employer and have them write it up for you. I need a minute. Hold on. Okay. Debbie Hall at 7:30. Talking to William. Asking about the price range for Pershing. I don't have their price range. Okay. Marijuana Rasta, 7:31. Thank you, Jenny. I emailed EDD about the mistake with gross and net. I never received a response. I also already uploaded the proper documents. Good. How can I fix this? You have done your due diligence. It doesn't affect your benefit amount because you're already at the minimum. So they're not going to come back and need to collect things back. You have contacted them, letting them know that mistake up front. So you took the initiative. Make sure that you screenshot that email and save it, because the EDD system often goes down. So save that documentation for yourself, and then you should be good to go. Okay, Michael Hill at 7:33. Is $400 the minimum income for one's business for the year? And can I amend my 2019 1040 slightly? Okay, so if you are self-employed, whether you own a small business or if you're a gig worker, if you babysit, if anything that you are taking income in that is self-employment income, if you have a net income, gross income is your total income. Net income is the amount that you keep after deductions and expenses. So if your net income is $400 or higher, you are then required to file that income on your income taxes. Now, many people are confused about this because they think that the low income regular filers amount would be the same for self-employment. It's not. Self-employment is $400 net income and higher, requires that you file a tax return. So next part of your question is, can you amend your 2019 slightly? Yes, you can. If you use a software such as TurboTax or something else like that, that is a well-known software. Oftentimes, TurboTax does allow this. I'm not sure about other ones. They do allow you to amend it through the software itself right away. But you can also seek out your CPA, your tax preparer, whoever worked with you on your taxes, and you can file the amendment that way. Scrolling down. Oh, okay. I'm going to disagree with you here. Please don't skip sending in your documentation. Don't skip it. Send in your documents because you're going to get into disqualifications. You're going to get overpayments. You're going to get penalties. It's going to continue to accrue. And then you'll have the repercussions of them needing to collect government debt from you, which goes into a whole other realm. Please send in your documents. Please send in your documents. All right, Crazed Raider, 7:34. I was just laid off again, and my EDD ended November 22nd. I had already used up the 6 months of funds. Can I reapply again since I've been laid off? So let's see, when did it end? End November 22nd. It depends on when your benefit year end date is, not when you reach a $0 balance. So what is the end date for your benefit year from your old claim? You cannot file a new claim until you reach 1 year after that original filing date and you reach the end of your benefit year. Once you reach that end of your benefit year, you can file a new claim if you worked and earned $1,300 or more in your highest earning quarter within that last year. Okay, thank you. Okay, and let's see, in December, they had to implement a work search requirement and ID verification and ending self-attestation. They implemented ID Me, which took 2 months to satisfy, yet not self-attestation. Okay, I think you're just providing commentary. Crazed Raider at 736. I worked only a total of 4 months this year. Okay, so it's $1,300 or more during your highest earning quarter, and you must have reached the end of your benefit year. JC, hello. Ocean Blue at 738. Jenny Silver, do you know the minimum needed to be entered for gross income on PUA to get the extra $300 each week? There is no minimum. If you qualify for PUA, there is not a minimum amount that you had to earn to qualify for PUA, but you must have been self-employed prior to the pandemic or had your self-employment stopped due to the pandemic, or have one of the other qualifying reasons to qualify for PUA. There's no minimum amount. It's just if you qualified and if you collected benefits that week, then you did qualify for the additional boost. Let's see. Adam and Shifty. I was recycling by myself and told them this, which they accepted. Now they want me to invent proof. Okay, so the thing with recycling is that, and it's the same thing with like garage sales, with selling your own stuff on eBay, etc. If it is something that is yours that you purchased and then you are recouping the value on it, you're recouping a depreciated value on that item. You're taking in less, so you're taking a loss. That's why you don't have to claim that on a tax return necessarily, because you are taking a loss on it. Now, if you're recycling your own materials that you purchased and then you turn them in for recycling, that's not self-employed. If you are doing recycling as a business and you are doing it as a business, you would need to claim it on your tax return because it's not you turning in something in a depreciated value situation. So you would need to claim it on your tax return. So the problem here is that they want the documentation that should have been filed in accordance with all the government regulations to collect those government benefits. So for your situation, you can file retroactive tax returns or amend tax returns. You can provide any of those other documents that they stated they would accept, such as a signed affidavit, receipts from those recycling instances, etc., and see how that goes. Okay, where am I here? I somehow got to the bottom. I'm going to go back up. Give me a second. Did that one. I did that one. Okay. Ocean Blue, I think there was not a cutoff amount. You have to receive and collect $1 in benefits. So even if you had earned income that week, you claimed that income on your certifications. If you had excessive earnings and you did not collect that week, then you would not receive the boost. But if you collected $1 that week, then you would be entitled to the boost. There was no minimum amount that you had to have earned in your prior employment or self-employment in order to collect the boost. Okay, I did that one. Julio at 740. Did anyone have pending eligibility for the child tax credit the entire time? I haven't heard that reported much. I would contact the IRS on that because pending eligibility, what could they be questioning with your eligibility? They could be questioning if you have like a married filing separately situation, that can cause a lot of slowdowns in the process because they have to divvy up that payment. But what else would cause that delay? I'm not certain. Contact the IRS. I have not had that status reported before. All right, Bubba Claire channel at 7:41. EDD knew I had to answer one question wrong, but still granted me money and now is suspending me. What do I do? What is the question that you answered wrong? I can't answer this until I know more information. So let me know in the chat box and I will see it in a few minutes when I scroll down. Email your assembly members. Yes, if you need help, Annie has been posting the link on how to contact your assembly members. Contact them. In most cases, they are very helpful. You're very welcome. Thank you. Okay. Did that. Monique, thank you. Craze Raider, it was November 22nd, 2021. I think that's referring to the end of your benefit year. So you've already reached the end of your benefit year. So as long as you earned $1,300 or more in one quarter, so quarter is 3 months, break up the year into its 4 quarters. As long as you earn $1,300 in your highest earning quarter, then you would qualify to receive a new claim as long as you were terminated for something that was not fault of your own. Okay, scrolling down. Did that. Debbie asked me personal questions, and I like it because it breaks it up. I'll try to be fast on this, though. Wedding business status, busy or subdued again. So my weddings are done for the year. Usually weddings for me go from about March or April up through the end of September. And then I spend the next like month and a half finishing up, ordering all the products, making albums, doing things like that. Winter is usually when clients are booking for the next year. So I'll spend time doing consultations and marketing and things like that. Yeah, so that's how that's going. Okay, Michael Hill, you're very welcome. Does one quarter need to be $1,300 in any quarter with PUA? So we're not talking about PUA. PUA is over. So there's no way to get PUA right now. PUA has ended. What we're talking about with filing a new claim for those who qualify is for a regular unemployment claim. A regular unemployment claim continues on because it's not pandemic related. PUA had a distinct end date because it was defined by the stimulus bill. So PUA is over and unfortunately you cannot apply for that anymore. Karen, you have a new photo and it looks very nice. All right, 7:47. Karen says, so sorry to hear about Gargantua. Kat, have a terrific new year. Thank you for all you've done. Thank you, Karen. I really appreciate that. Crazed Writer, I just calculated the amount. It's about $13,000. Yes, that does make you eligible again. So you would be able to file a new claim. So in UI Online, log into your account, click the File a New Claim button that you should see there, and then you should be approved as long as your reason for termination was due to no fault of your own. Clarity, you're very welcome. Okay, scrolling down. Okay, did that. I am going to be done in just a couple minutes here, and I see that I'm almost all done in the chat too, which is great. Okay, did that one. Crazed Raider. So I worked 3 months from June to September, and then the month of October. Yeah, based on your amount, as long as you had $1,300 in traditional employment during your highest earning quarter, and the quarters are January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So those are the chunks. As long as it's $1,300 or more in W-2 earnings and you were not terminated due to any fault of your own, then you would qualify. Okay, scrolling down. If someone doesn't file taxes under $400, doesn't that mean it's a hobby and not being self-employed? Yes. So if you don't file taxes, the rule, the IRS rule, and I can pull this up for you. Hold on. That's the wrong link. So the rule is that you must file income taxes if you have a net income of $400 or more. Let me add this to the stream. Okay. Where is it? There it is. Okay, so I'm on irs.gov. There's self-employed tax implications. What's it called? Self-employed individuals tax center. You have to file an income tax return if your net earnings from self-employment were $400 or more. If your net earnings from self-employment were less than $400, you still have to file an income tax return if you meet any of the other filing requirements listed here. And then it takes you to an additional document with some other instructions. I'm going to link this in the chat here for you so that you guys can see this if you need it. But I have a video that goes through all those other implications. So if you search for self-employed tax on my channel homepage, I go into it in great detail there. Okay. Mona Reed, 750. Let me go back to this real quick and then I'll get Mona. But yes, the EDD, they don't seem to be necessarily disqualifying people right now because they didn't file a tax return. They're not so much cross-referencing that, but technically, if you earned income and it was self-employed income, and you're trying to claim government benefits on that basis of that being self-employed income, then technically you should have a tax return on it if it's above $400 net income. So the problem that worries me with people right now turning in the affidavits, et cetera, when they haven't filed a tax return is that you were collecting government benefits, but you didn't pay taxes on the amount that is qualifying you for those benefits. So I'm worried for you guys that have not filed income taxes. The EDD, I highly doubt they will contact the IRS and like cross-reference with them. But it does worry me that there are so many of my subscribers that have not filed income taxes on that. And what worries me is the IRS penalties catching up to you. So aside from EDD related content, for those of you who are self-employed, please, I know it's hard. I know it's a really difficult process, especially if you owe back taxes, but please file your taxes. Please try to take out payment plans with the IRS to try to get yourself square in that regard so that the penalties don't come back to you. All right, Mona Reed at 750. If the EDD doesn't agree with the documentation you provide, can they only disqualify payments after December 27th, 2020? Okay, so here's the thing. This is another tricky question. Right now, they are looking at verifying your work history for dates after December 27th, 2020, because that is the date of the rule change. Now, they must collect documentation for that date forward, meaning that they don't need documentation necessarily before, but the EDD also has the ability to disqualify your claim if you don't in fact qualify for benefits. And they can do that at any point in time within the 3 years following your receipt of those benefits. So once you are done collecting your benefits, if they find that you are not qualified to receive those benefits for 3 years after collecting them, they can still disqualify that whole claim because you weren't necessarily supposed to receive them in the first place according to their rules. So what people are seeing now is they're seeing weeks after December 27th go to disqualified if they either were marked disqualified in error or if they in fact aren't qualified. That's why people are reporting seeing those January 2021 dates move to disqualified, but nothing before. But the EDD can possibly still go back and disqualify the rest of your claim if you in fact didn't actually qualify. Okay, need a drink of this. Okay. Okay. Did Trump change this midstream? Or I think you're referring to the December 27th, the work history verification. Was the change made in the December stimulus bill? So that was made under the Trump administration, signed December 27th, I think. Okay. Scrolling down. Let's see. Baba Claire Channel. I answered, but answered that I got paid and also going to school. What are we talking about? I don't remember what we're talking about. Number 6, I worked part-time. What does this refer to? Oh, okay, I remember now. You answered something incorrectly in your application. You answered, but answered that you got paid and were also going to school. This still isn't enough information for me, unfortunately. You need to elaborate more. Tell me exactly how you qualify for unemployment and what the error was that you made. If you are getting paid, but you qualified for unemployment, did you lose work? How did you lose work? Was it due to the pandemic, etc.? Mary Lou at 750. Hi, Jenny. Thank you for all the information about UI and the problems with that, but I'm having a hard time getting my benefits from SDI after having surgery. I'm getting denied because I don't have enough. Where is it? I'm going to find it. Hold on. Enough earnings in my base period, but was not working because of the pandemic. Yeah, okay. Unfortunately, the pandemic-related aid programs are done. So you can't qualify for anything based on being unemployed due to the pandemic at this time. I do not believe that you're going to qualify. I would recommend, however, that you contact your assembly member so that they can help to make sure that if you should qualify, that you get those problems resolved. But unfortunately, I do not think that you're going to qualify based on that information. But Annie can drop the link for how to contact your assembly member in the chat box. Call them and let them help you through it, since contacting the EDD is extremely difficult. All right, Chris P. Hi, Jenny. I got a message from the EDD asking for documents around 1/1/2019 through March 1st, 2020 for Pua Claim, but I had a UI claim with PEUC extension. Can I submit retroactive 2019 tax return? Okay, so for many of you that collected regular traditional unemployment benefits and are wondering why you're receiving this request, hold on. The EDD did something that they technically shouldn't have done, where claimants were in the interim between the new implementation of the December stimulus bill, which extended the PEUC extension. EDD computers had not implemented it yet into their program, so there was a lapse in benefits, and some claimants were waiting for several months for PEUC to be implemented and extended. Now, what some claimants did is they called into customer service, or customer service representatives may have already been on the phone with you and applied this change, where instead of waiting for PEUC, they issued you a PUA extension, PUA as an extension. They technically shouldn't have done that, but they were, in most cases, trying to help people who were demanding benefits right away. Now, because you were applied a PUA claim as an extension, you may not have even known that, but it would be listed in your claims history as disaster assistance, or DUA. Now, you do have to provide the documentation for this PUA requirement, but obviously you weren't self-employed. You're just going to provide whatever work history you have on hand, and yes, your tax return will do. Okay, organic olive oil, 752. I had 2 jobs. I was supposed to start barista and kitchen work. I listed the barista job in the application, but forgot to list the cook job. I have documentation for the cook job, but not barista. Is that okay? Yes, you're sending in your documentation for one of your jobs that was supposed to start. But you also need to send in documentation that that job was canceled due to the pandemic. So don't just send in the job offer letter, the email offering you the job, etc. Send in that, but also send in whatever statement the business gave you telling you that they could no longer hire you due to the pandemic. Ocean Blue 752. Okay, but didn't they require a certain amount of self-income even to get $1 plus of PUA? No, there was not a PUA income minimum. There wasn't. It was either you were self-employed or one of the other qualifying reasons, or your self-employment was completely derailed due to the pandemic. There was not a minimum amount to qualify. It's structured differently than traditional unemployment, which is based on a sliding scale that goes even lower than that 167 minimum. So no, unfortunately, not unfortunately, but no, in the documentation, I have looked up the bill text and I have it in a really old video, but I can't tell you what video it is. I did look this up and I did show it on screen. Snoop Y, can I get a shout out? Hello, Snoop Y. Okay, why is California the only state with this EDD issue? They are not. California is not the only state with this problem, with EDD problems. They call it various, it goes by different names in other states. California is not the only one with a broken unemployment system, but California's is pretty bad. Okay, I already answered that question. That change was made under the Trump administration in December 2020. Wedding plan, no. So I'm not a wedding planner, I'm a wedding photographer. Okay, Run Amok Ronan. What's that you were talking about? An extra $300 as an old $300 weekly boost during the pandemic. It has ended a long time ago. Okay, DB Cooper 755. I look forward to learning all this California craziness with you daily. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, there's always something going on. Mary Chang 756. How much net annual income required to be qualified for PUA? When I applied for PUA back in March 2019, I don't think I was asked how much my income as an independent contractor. There's not a minimum to qualify for the minimum amount of PUA, which is $167, but PUA has requirements that you were self-employed or lost your work but didn't qualify for regular unemployment, or lost the business that you were building and it had to close due to the pandemic. Now, PUA starts at $167 and it went up all the way to $450 based on how much you earned. The application did ask for your total net income, self-employment income. So it did ask for that. Mary Lou, not enough earning in my base period, but not working because of the pandemic. I almost spilled it. Did you see it? Okay, not enough. I'm a little confused on this, Mary Lou. I think maybe it was a different question up higher. SDI, I see it here. You're trying to qualify for SDI. I understand it was due to the pandemic. As it stands now, unfortunately, there are no pandemic-related provisions at all in unemployment or SDI benefits. And SDI, I am not knowledgeable in, so I can't answer any other questions beyond that. But there are no current pandemic-related provisions in any of those programs. Those have come to an end. So I would contact your assembly member if you think that you are qualified, but you do still have to meet their limits. Okay, I did that one. Crazed Writer. Would it be possible to chat via email? No. So I do not connect via email. Here's the thing. I talk to my subscribers in live streams and in video comments only. I don't reply to emails. I don't reply to Instagram messages. I don't reply to Facebook video calls. I don't reply to things mailed to my house, even if they're really nice, which some of them have been really nice. I don't Okay, I think I'm back. I think my mic is back. Did it come back? Let me know if the sound is back on. I'm going to go ahead and wait until I get confirmation that the sound is on. Okay. Mic is off. Hold on. Okay, I think I'm back. Sorry, guys. My mic came unplugged, but I'm good now. Okay, back with Bubba Claire. So I worked part-time, but answered number 6, no. Payments were on pending. Interview was supposed to be mailed in, but nothing, so I called again. They granted me, but I stated that I work part-time and was paid. Okay, you worked part-time, answered no. But did you lose? I understand that you worked part-time, but did you lose hours due to the pandemic? Your interview was supposed to be mailed, but they granted. It all depends on your unique situation. If you were working full-time and you had your hours reduced due to the pandemic, then you would qualify to receive partial unemployment payments. But if you were just working part-time before and you continued working part-time, then you would not qualify. So it depends on your unique situation. Okay, I'm going to scroll back up to these questions now that I fixed my mic. Thanks for waiting around for that. Okay. I would like help. Yeah, I only do comments in the video, comments and live streams. Okay, how much, Mary Chang, how much net annual income? I already answered that one. Debbie Hall, if you collected most of 2021 but did pick up some work, which you did report, don't you have to wait for a time period to clear beyond a quarter showing no claim? Do they qualify that income? Okay, so you can qualify for an alternate base period where they will. It has to be work done since the start of your unemployment claim. So as long as you worked and earned $1,300 or more during your highest earning quarter, and you have done that work since the start of your unemployment claim, not before it, so not in the quarter before it, then you would qualify. Okay, scrolling down. Adam Shifty, I've answered this many times. I've answered this like 3 times because I keep seeing your question. This was done in December 27th, 2020. You're asking who was the president at the time. It was under the Trump administration, stimulus bill in Congress. Okay. Mary Chang, how much net annual income required to be qualified for PUA? When I applied back in March 2020, I don't think I was asked how much my income was. Okay, yes, you are required to state your income on the application, but there is no minimum amount. Okay, Craze, I understand you being upfront. Thank you. Can't hear you. No sound. Please fix. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I did fix it. Scrolling down. Okay, I'm going to be on for probably like 10 more minutes, you guys. So get your last questions in. I'm almost at the bottom of the chat box. So put your questions in now and I can probably get to them. Okay, Sundar at 810. EDD is asking me to prove that I were or plan to be self-employed or employed at some point between 1/1/2019 and 4/19. Would 2019 Schedule C be enough, or do I need my 2020 Schedule C also? More documentation, the better. So if they're asking for anything within that date range, yes, you should be fine by just sending in that 2019 Schedule C. The Schedule C shows everything on it that they need, and it's for a year within that time frame. So you should be okay. However, it is best to send in as much documentation as you have to avoid any possible snags, because EDD has lots of problems. So I would send in 2019 and 2020, although yes, you should be fine with just that one. Okay, Sundar, let's see, I already did that question. Marijuana Rasta, 811. I felt like we all lost the lifeline when Jenny's mic went out. Well, there's only 80 people in here. These live streams used to have like 900 people in them at once. And I had really bad technical problems then because I was not used to live streaming. Really bad problems. That was fun. Nothing like messing up everything in front of 900 people. 811 DX. Hi, my UI account got hacked 5 months ago, and EDD said where's the rest of it? There it is. My UI account was hatch. EDD can't help me. I file online report to EDD fraud, but nobody has contacted me. It's been 5 months already. That's really unfortunate. You're going to contact your assembly member next. So contact my assistant Annie is going to drop a link in the chat box right now. Click on that link. It's going to have you locate your assembly member. Your assembly member, you're going to contact their office. They are well-versed in EDD problems. They're going to be able to act as a liaison between you and the EDD and help to get that problem solved for you. So contact them. And Monique needs a drink. Monique, send me a beer. Okay, I did that one. Did that one already. Audio, yep, it's back now. Okay, Monique is truly grateful she went back to work full-time. Monique, what are you doing full-time? What is your job? Michelle, okay, we're good. I wish there was more space to write. Yeah, but then I would not be able, I don't really wish there was more space to write because then I couldn't actually get through a live stream without reading a novel in each one. So I'm sorry, it's short. Okay. Okay, DX. Okay, I already did that one. Guys, I think I'm nearing the end. The end is near. I'm almost done. All right, B at 8:15. If I have a grooming business, is sending some paid checks enough? Okay, if you have grooming business, number one, you want to send in your tax return. So from the year that they are asking for, send in your tax return or your Schedule C from that tax return specifically. That is going to be like the most strong, solid document that you can send in. Some people sending in their tax documents are still getting denied by error, but when they call in, they're able to get it fixed. Send in your tax return. Yes, you can send in paid checks. The EDD states that receipts, invoices, contracts, bank statements, a business license, all of those things are acceptable, but send in your tax return. You should have that. Send that in addition to sending in those checks or invoices. DB Cooper, Happy New Year, Jenny. Thank you. Happy New Year to you too. It's not yet though. It's not yet. Big Game James. What if you just blow it off and never respond or apply to EDD again for the rest of your life? Don't do that. You can get in big trouble with these things. They go far beyond, is much far reaching than that. I don't want you to get in deep trouble where you have a government debt owed, where you have a lien put on you and your property, where you have penalties and interest that accumulate. There's a lot that can go on here. And I have that's one of the questions that I asked and have been asking Pershing Square Law Firm is, how bad can this get? And his answer is it can get pretty bad. Don't ignore it. You should have documentation. You should have some way to substantiate claims that you made. If you qualified for unemployment benefits, how did you qualify? Were you self-employed? And if you were self-employed, are you not submitting documents because you didn't submit a tax return? If so, you can file those retroactively. You can amend an old tax return and you can fix that problem. If you can't file a tax return, you aren't planning on filing a tax return, there's other documents that can be accepted. Invoices, contracts, receipts, an affidavit, a signed letter from yourself and also from some sort of client or someone that you work for. There's a lot of different things that you can send in as well. Don't ignore it. Please, please just send in your documents so that you don't have to undergo years of problems for something that could have been solved very quickly. Well, it's the EDD, so things aren't always very quickly because sometimes they make mistakes and then we have to fix the mistakes with them. But please don't ignore it. Okay, Debbie says, time to go. She loves the lives. Keep them up. Thank you, Debbie. Have a good night. Okay, Sundar, Jenny, is it possible for you to do a video on all available small business grants? Many of us badly need help for our business to stay afloat. I've done a few of those in the past. I have not done one recently. I will at some point in time. I have some other projects that I'm working on for the next month, and these ones kind of tend to have a lot of, I can have my research assistant work on that. Yes, I will work on that one. Well, I won't work on it because I'm gonna have Hattie work. I'm gonna have my research assistant work on that one. All right, B at 8:17. Know that EDD is required. Did not make enough to file your paperwork. Would paid checks establish income? I think maybe you're saying that you didn't earn enough to be required to file income taxes. If you earned under $400 in net income and you weren't required to file income taxes, then yes, you can submit checks paid by your clients, your customers, your bank statements as well, your business license. If you had any online presence like website, if you had contracts or a service agreement that you sent out with those customers, I would not just send paid checks. I would also make sure that you send all additional documents that you have as well as a signed affidavit explaining those checks. But yes, those should be accepted. Paid checks from the bank. Okay. All right, Mona Reed, do you think getting a lawyer to represent you makes you look guilty, even if you are just afraid and don't want them to think that you did anything wrong? No, not at all. It's not going to make you look guilty. It's going to make you well-informed. It's going to make you have representation that understands the process, that can walk you through it, that knows the judges and can advise you on the best way to present your information. And it's going to be something, if it's a fit for you, it's only going to help you to be successful in that. So no, I do not think that it makes you look guilty. All right, B, can I back pay my taxes as self-employed? Yes, you can. When you file, and when you amend an old tax return, then you'll be required to file those missing taxes that are owed, and you will pay those at that time. Unless you choose to request an installment agreement and have those payments issued out in installments as opposed to one lump fee, which you can do as well. Okay. Oh, if you had to choose between George Clooney, Denzel Washington, or who's it going to be? Get out of here. David, 820. If I've ever opened a claim since January 2021 and the end of my claim is nearing, how much money in taxes would I have to pay, like an estimate? My weekly benefit amount is $178. Okay, so if you had a claim open since January 2021, end of the claim is nearing, how much money in taxes would you have to pay? I'm not going to estimate that for you. So your weekly benefit amount is $178. If you checked the box to have taxes removed weekly, then that would have removed 10% for federal income taxes each week. That is then remitted to the IRS for you. There are no state taxes collected in California for unemployment benefits. Now, if you did not check that box, the amount of tax is going to also be dependent on your own unique filing situation, how your tax brackets fall, etc. So I can't give you that exact number, but a rough estimate would be 10%. Now, in addition to that weekly benefit award amount of $178, you also have the federal boost, the $300 boost, the $600 boost. Those are all taxable on the federal level as well, but there was no option to withhold taxes from those automatically. So everyone is going to have to pay federal income taxes, roughly 10%, but it goes differently depending on your own unique tax situation. And that 10% of those boosts are going to be owed by everyone. come tax time because there was no possibility to withhold them at time of payment. Okay, what about rent relief? What do you want to know? I might not know it because that program is very slow, very flawed, and not a lot of information out. I have a video where I do a Q&A with one of the higher ups in the program. If you search for rent relief on my channel homepage, then you'll be able to find that link. Maybe Annie could find it. It has a video, a picture of me and of the rent relief representative on it. Okay, B, you're very welcome. Thank you. You too. DX, thank you. Okay, Ocean Blue. If no self-income was verified, what was the minimum amount of PUA given? If your net income was $1, then you still get $300 too. If your net income was $1 on PUA, a lot of people on PUA qualified for PUA, even though they claimed a lot of deductions on their Schedule C. They may have even had a negative net income amount on their Schedule C, and they still then would qualify to receive PUA. Now, what was the minimum amount of PUA given? $167 per week was the minimum amount. And then, yes, you would still get the $300 boost, correct? Okay, David, you're welcome. Jay, back at it. Rent relief ran out of funds. Rent relief is still paying out, but it's extremely slow, very delayed. All right, you guys, I think this is the only time, maybe one other time in the last week, that I have reached the end of the chat box. I did it. That's very rare because there's only like 68 people in here right now. Okay, you guys, so that's it for tonight. I will see you next time. For those of you that need to get help with your mortgage, I'm going to have Annie drop that link one more time. Please apply to this right away because when I last searched this topic, it's not prominent in the news yet. Maybe that changed today. I was with my kids all day, but it's not prominent in the news yet. Word has not spread that this application is out. They have not emailed their massive email list. I don't think that any of my subscribers have received an email. I haven't received an email. Most newspapers in California are not reporting on this yet. So please apply before everyone else gets their applications in. Okay. All right, you guys. Thank you. You're very welcome. I will see you next time. Bye.